I'm in conversation with one of India's most prominent gallerists and director of the Apparoa Galleries, Sharon. And there's this wonderful piece here, and I know that you are interested in Buddhism.
I like the Dalai Lama. He's lovely. He's lovely.
Have
And
you met
he's
him?
so, yes, I met him many times actually. I recently attended a 3-day teaching workshop in Delhi, and he was just so delightful. What a humane person.
Yeah.
But belongs to another age, not in this aggressive world we live in.
And who's this artist, Sharon?
This is George. George K is a businessman
George K,
turned,
yes.
he's a chartered accountant turned artist. And I call him a young artist because he's relatively new for us. And both the sculpture and the painting are his. And I work with a lot of young artists. And that's a part of my work that I really enjoy, because I think I can bring to them a lot of the stuff that I've seen and the experience I've had. And I'm happy to share it with them and, kind of, I think my role that I have defined for myself is that of an incubator, and I think I enjoy that. And that's why the young artists make more sense and more fun, because also it's interesting to do different things.
Now tell me, for a collector, how does he or she know that they haven't bought I don't want to say a bad work of art, I mean there's no such thing, but depreciation proof, how would you know that?
See, there is no such thing as depreciation proof. I think one has to look, when they're looking, is look at things that are new, things that are timeless, things that have some depth in it. Because if you're buying a painting of a recent artist that looks like a Ravi Verma, it's a dead loss. I mean, so you really should not be looking only at aesthetics, but looking at the intellectual content of the work, and looking at the relevance of the work to society. I mean, for instance, Hussein's Bharat Mata would probably be priced in some huge bracket when it does come out, because it's created such a controversy that it will be very important in history. So I think you have to look, I mean, I'm not saying buy the Bharat Mata, but I'm just saying, paintings like that become important. So I think you have to look at what art does to you, to a person, to society. And I think those are the kind of artists to buy. Those are recession proof, by the way, and those are depreciation proof that you're calling depreciation. But I think those are more collectible because they have to be a talking point.
No, but so do you say that the way things have shaped up, I mean, in the current climate, it's no longer art for art's sake? Do you think people buy more?
No. It is art for art's sake. A lot of people do trade in it, and a lot of people think like shares they can buy and sell, but people are not so knowledgeable. So it's not a good idea to go into art for an investment sake only. I think art should always be for art's sake. One should collect art that they love. One should collect art that means something to them, and incidentally it will become an investment, and then you can be happy about it. But it's not like you can't buy art and put in a vault. All that is all stupid.
No. You've traveled all around the world. Do you think that enough art happens in the public space in Chennai? It's
happening, not yet. I mean, that OMR has work, but it's unfortunately not very big, and it's not very dramatic. It's not had an impact. Very little happens in public spaces in India, and people haven't understood it. I think artists also have to learn to use it to their advantage. I think it's an area that needs to be worked on in the long term.
And when you look at antiques versus contemporary works of art, which sells more in Chennai?
Oh, contemporary art sells because there are no real antique dealers. And antiques, because of all this ASI and all these problems, you can't really sell antiques. They're crafts that are made to look old. See, that's also done by an artist, but it doesn't have the intellectual content. That's why that's not not considered highbrow. It's only made as a repetitive thing. It's when you put a soul into it and put a life into it, or if the craftsman goes away from the normal norm and does something dramatic. I mean, it's the same like a sari weaver. You can buy a Kanjivaram sari, but the moment some designer puts some intellectual content and uses a Miro thing with the weave, and it becomes a designer piece and you're adding value to it. So I think you have to look at that value addition, which is something different from craft, and which I think really makes art also worthwhile, because that's what is new and that's what is exciting.
Sharon, I must applaud and I must congratulate you for the wonderful work that you're doing in the gallery. Sharon organizes the most interesting lectures, film screenings and all of that at the Apparoa Galleries on Wallace Garden Road. Art education, something that we
Yes.
that's the need of the hour really.
Yes, we have an educational platform and we're very happy to welcome you there.
So the program might come to an end, but Sharon is here. She's a very important part of Chennai. She's done so much for art in Chennai and India and the world over. So come and listen to her, to the talks that she organizes.
Please, please come.
You
Please,
should.
yes.
Thanks
Thank you
for joining us.
Thanks so much.